Welcome back to Tom's Gear Rods again, boys and girls. Good morning. My goodness. I see it so often in the spring and early summer. He said, Tom, my blade belt come off. It's just them spring weeds, man. This stuff is so thick. We've had so much rain, cutting too fast, too low. I popped it back on there and it's all right. But I just got done running this thing. There's a couple things I'm gonna do for him he didn't ask for. Ooh, look at all that oil. Got another leaky valve cover. Ooh. I ran it for about 2 minutes before I started smelling it. I'm like, yep. And this bodywork is cracked. It's just a poor design, really. You just got 2 bolts and 1 bracket right there, and that's it. Look at that. When that thing lets go, one of the things going to save his life maybe is that wire. Yeah, he's going to get bucked off this thing when that thing finally breaks. Let's raise it up in the air. Take a look, see how bad it is. Let's see. We'll grab a flashlight. We'll shine a light up in there. Oh yeah, that's broken up pretty good. We got plenty of room though to work. What I'm gonna do, take a big piece of metal and go across here, sandwich that bodywork between a big piece of metal and this bracket. That'll stabilize it pretty good. Let's see, what kind of metal do we have we can find? What do we have? What do we have? Let's see, we got a couple of these we can use. We'll use that right there. Go under the bodywork, just drill 2 holes through it. That's a perfect length too. Go under and just bolt it right through it. Gotta get some longer bolts though. We can take this old steering gear, drill a couple holes in that and use that. That's an old steering gear off a, I think it was a Craftsman R1000, same thing as a PowerBuilt TB30. And Cub Cadet CC30H, same thing. Steering gear. See how the teeth right here in the middle get worn down. Anyway, that's not what the video's about. I'd like to have something a little bit wider than that. That'll work too, but when you put the bolts through there, you won't be able to grab it with a wrench. That's too thin. Let's go see what we have over here. What do we have over here we can use? Anything in the scrap metal bucket. About the same thing, just a bunch of square stock. I don't see nothing nice and flat like I want. We'll keep looking. What do we have over here? Demolition bars, some aluminum straight edging. Hey, look at there. By golly, that'll be perfect right there. That's about a 2-inch piece of channel. Yeah, we'll use that. Now, see if I can get it out of here without knocking everything off the shelf, off the pegs, like I do every time I come over here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll cut us a piece of this. Yeah, that'll be nice right there. That's nice, thick, heavy duty. Cut a piece about yay long. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll fix that seat for him. I think he lets his young daughter ride this thing sometimes, and that's dangerous. I can't have that, and I can't have that. Let's get this hood off here and take a look at that valve cover gasket first. Alright. Yeah, that thing's been leaking for a little while. I'll tell you, this will be the third valve cover gasket this week. This is a 17.5 horsepower Briggs and Stratton. This is the PowerBuilt. It's missing its tag though. PowerBuilt by Briggs and Stratton. Let me grab a wrench to see if those screws are loose. Oh, my wrench here. There it is. I need to put a little strike hold in that thing. Let's do that. Pow! I've been using this wrench all day, every day. Yeah, that's better. Okay, let's see if this thing's loose. No, it ain't loose. Ugh. Nope, it's pretty tight. This don't have the gasket on it. This looks like that looks like sealer. And that don't look like the factory sealer. Yeah, what we'll do is get this thing up in the air, tilt it back, reseal that valve cover gasket. We're going to check his valve clearance while we got it up. We got that off. 2011 is the build date on this. It's 13 years old now. All right, boys and girls, y'all hang with. We're going to get busy. We're going to fix that. Well, we're going to make the seat better. We're going to do this valve cover gasket. Y'all hang with. All right. First thing I'm going to do is try to, while it's still hot, I'm going to try to scrape as much of this oil and muck off there as I can. I don't want to just toss that in the trash can over there because it's hot. Yeah, you can see this stuff was just bubbling. And it sure didn't take long for this to start stinking and smoking. Yeah, then we'll take it out there and give it a good washing. Woo. Scrapey, scrapey. There, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. No, it ain't either. I'm gonna pull this cover right here off. Let's do that. Still got it all over the front of the muffler running down. Running down. It's 9/16, it's not half. Well, you see it's wet. Okay. got it pretty good on top. But you can see, you see right there, it's still fairly nasty looking. We got to get all that off there. It'd take a long time to just naturally burn that off. See if we can get this putty knife in there. Get my head in there, let me see. Whew, this thing stinks. Y'all know what burnt motor oil smells like. Can't be good to be breathing it while you're cutting grass. Just smelled enough to have to turn the exhaust fans on in here. Ew. You can't just take a water hose and degreaser and clean this thing. That stuff is just baked on there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I got the majority of it cleaned off. A little bit more right in there. A little bit more right in there, right on the back side of that little bracket right there. Right back there. Get all that out from under there. This is getting good here. What about on the side? Nope. It's on the front. All right, that's pretty clean. We got the majority of it off. That big glob that was just sitting there just like lava, just blew while it was getting hot. All right. I dig that. Okay. Okay. Let's grab the hook. Let's grab the table off. All right, let's grab a couple jack stands. I think I may use that great stuff sealer. I got that 7.5 ounce bottle there on Amazon for about $28, I guess. I ain't got to use it yet, not this bottle. I think that's what we're going to use to put it back together. All right. Grab a hook. Put this thing backwards. Higher another. That's good enough. This thing's running away. Pull the tractor over. Head out of the way. Alright, let's see. Raise the table back up. Give it a wiggle wiggle. Pretty secure. All right, I'm just gonna give this thing a little bit to cool off. It's still pretty hot to the touch. Give all that oil a chance to run back. And we'll do it. We'll do it. And we gotta measure how long we want that bar to be. Listen, we can go as far as we need to. We can come, well, no, not really. We'll just make it. We'll make it about 13 inches long. Yeah, we'll make it 14 inches. Inches. Ain't gotta be perfect. So, hold him down. All right, let's see. Where's a good place to? That would be a good place to cut this thing because we're going to sling some sparks everywhere. We'll do it in this vise right here. Plug it in, make sure it's not on. Fan off. We'll see. That thing's so I want to cut it. Throw the sparks that way. That's awful high right there. I'll tell you what, let's do. I have to stand on my tiptoes right there to do it. A little bit safer place over here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll put it in that vise there. God. Well, this thing's all rusted. Just hit this thing with some strike hold. So we'll do it right there. I couldn't tell you how old this vise is. I don't even remember where I got it. All right, let's go over here and grab our little Ziz wheel and the safety glasses in the hood. Okay. I don't need that wheel coming apart. All right, we got our safety glasses, our reading glasses, got us a hood. All right. Look at that drop board right there. Where's our line? Right there. We'll throw the spark straight down. Plug in the drop cord. It just rained real hard all day yesterday. All this stuff is wet back here. So that's good. All right, that's what we need. That's what we need. And we'll come over here to the drill press. And we'll grab those are 3/8 bolts, so we'll grab a 3/8 drill bit. Let's see, 3/8 drill bit. Let's see, we'll grab one size bigger, a 25/64. It's one size bigger than 3/8. Okay, let's go over here and measure. Ooh, I think I got the hood off. I got to turn that fan back on right there. I am sweating. Okay. Grab the tape measure. Get the table down a little bit. Just measure how far these bolts are. It's exactly 5.5. Exactly 5.5 inches apart. Okay, let's find the center of this thing. It's right about there. Let's see, 5.5, 2.5, 2 3/4. 2 3/4. Give you a hole there. Right up there. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll give you the hairy elbow if I put you over there because of this wheel right here. Hood down. That ought to drill pretty easy. It's soft. A little bit of drill chill. Now I can't see the line. There it is. I need to get me a vise for this thing. Double check. We're still on the money. See how weak this thing is? That's why I'm not really scared to hang on to something. I know I got a lot of leverage. All right, there's that. Let's go over here and see how close we got it. Be careful, just don't lay that thing up there. You'll ground that battery out. Well, that looks pretty close right there. We'll find out. Might have to take the deburr tool and open these up a little bit. That's why I went one size bigger. I didn't want to have to get so accurate. All right. Let's unplug his seat right here. Unplug his little seat switch. Be real careful, don't break this little tab right here. There we go. And we'll get his battery out of there. Battery unhook, get it out, get the battery tray out. Always unhook the ground side first. Yeah, this metal is so thin, I ain't gonna try to weld it. It's just so thin. There has a little corrosion starting right there on that positive cable. Pause. I got me a customer. Hope he can bring me that washing machine to work on. All right. All right, let's get these bolts taken out of here. There goes my little dirt bike, buddy. I'm hoping these bolts are still long enough to actuate this nylock insert right there. If not, we can find a little bit longer bolts. Neat as ours. Ooh-wee, boy, that thing, that's dangerous. That's just dangerous. Oh, look at that. There wasn't nothing holding that on but a hope and a prayer there, buddy. Look at that. It's broke all the way over here. All the way around to right there. That was just before. Now let's see how good we are with the measurements. I'm sure there's plenty of wiggle room. Oh yeah, look at her. Perfect. Perfect. And there's enough room in here to get a socket on that or a wrench. That other piece of metal over there was too narrow. You wouldn't be able to hold it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. See, with that bolt sticking through there like that, you wouldn't have been able to get a wrench on it to hold it. So that's why we couldn't use that. But it was perfect. All right. Yeah, that's going to work good. That's going to work good. Move that camera. Try to see what I'm doing a little bit better. Run this up through the little bracket we made. Unhold it. Nut on there. Yeah, that bolt will be long enough. I feel pretty good about it. I did put that washer. No, I didn't put that washer on there because you can't put that washer on there. You don't have room for that. This bracket's going to act as the washer. All right. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Stable right there. Yay, yay. Yay, we make that. Yay. Back through there. That cable back through there. Regular cable back through there. I'll get back down here. I'll get back in right there. Well, you can't because of that bracket. Oh, that's no big deal. Don't need that anyway. Okay. I'll tell you, it looks like it's been kind of rough on this 401 more over the years. positive up first. Make sure you don't hit your battery up backwards. It'll make it go in reverse if you put it in a forward gear if you hook your battery up backwards. Believe that? Okay. Battery's back in there. I'll tell you what, he's going to be happy about that. That's just dangerous there. Yeah. Okay, well, you know what I did? I didn't put that back on there. Let's do it now. Take the negative back off. So we don't short nothing out. Working too fast, getting ahead of myself. Now, it looked like to me it was starting to corrode a little bit, but it's not. It's just this color. Got a little nut right there's got a little rust on it. Battery terminal protector. All right. It is getting close to 4 o'clock. Can you believe this is all I've done all day long? That's the only thing I've ever had time to do today. It was just that. It's the first time I have picked up a tool. I had to get up this morning and deliver one back. Then I had to go get one. I had to deliver another one. And on the way from that, I went by and picked up another one. I got the carport out there full right now. Little shed out there is full. The guy just brought those two things. When you got to do a bunch of pickups and deliveries and answer phones and run for parts and write invoices, and getting to pick up a tool is about the least thing I get to do out here. You got to learn how to be a businessman. I'm already a mechanic. You got to learn how to be a businessman. You got to answer phones, and invoices, and you got to write things down and order parts, and God, just too much for one person to do. Too much for one person. All right, let's grab the 3/8. We'll get this valve cover taken off. I hope we ain't got to fight with it too hard with that sealer. I may just put a paper gasket on here. I don't know. I think that's what I'm going to do, is just put a paper gasket. Oh, let's see. If you've got to pry that thing, do it up here where it won't hurt if you gouge it. If you do it down here, you'll put a big gouge right there, and that's where all the oil kind of settles. That's why it'll leak. There we go. Yeah, see how it was leaking? I don't know what kind of sealer that is. Looks like it's pretty light colored. It's got to be that Honda Bond kind of stuff. That's what that color reminds me of. Let's check his valve clearance. Let me grab a spark plug wrench. We'll get that spark plug taken out. It ain't been long since I've done a service on this thing. I can't remember. I can't believe I hadn't noticed that leaking. Well, you know, there's really no need to take a spark plug out. Yeah, that's a pretty nice new spark plug. That's one of mine. I'll leave that plug out just so it'll turn over easier. You don't really have to find top dead center. I do it for demonstration purposes only, but I just did a video yesterday doing this. If you know one valve is activated like that, you know it's perfectly clear to go ahead and gap that one. Oh yeah, that's pretty tight. Oh no, there it is. It's that top dead center, I bet you, on the non-compression stroke. That's pretty good. And while that was activated, you know, you can do this one. That's pretty good. Feels pretty good. All that nastiness out of there. All right, let's clean that off the wire wheel and the drill. Get your hood on, boy. I'll tell you, I've gotten a lot more serious lately about eye protection. I do it in a way that throws the stuff away from the inside. Let's take us a razor blade and dig some of that out of there. So I don't have to wire wheel it as much. Pusher rods look pretty good. A little bit of oil, always puddles right there. All right. When I use that wire wheel, you'll see it turns it gray. That's because that wire wheel is so saturated with oil. That's the only thing I really use that wire wheel for is this, and it gets oil on it. That's why you got to wipe it and clean it good. That's pretty good. A little bit of carb cleaner. Okay, good enough. Make sure we're here and grab the valve cover gasket. 72475. And I've got one left, and this was a 5-pack I bought about 2 weeks ago. Stick that somewhere we won't get oily and dirty. Okay. Carry this nasty thing over here to the parts washer. All of this dirt and sludge is kind of baked on. You're not going to get it spotless. You're not trying to chrome this thing. Well, did I not clean the inside? Rinse all that K1 kerosene out of there. That's what I use in the parts washer is kerosene. Low volatility. That stuff's years old anyway. All right, let's go right over here. Grab this rag and mop everything off. Okay. Good down. I believe I am going to use that. Great stuff. All right. Let's see, it says to break that off. Flip that over somehow or another. You just squeeze it. Just give it a squeeze. All right. Let's see. Screws look pretty good. They're not oily and greasy. Is there a something you gotta, yep, just do that, and then you can do that, and that ought to come out. What's the directions say? Okay, remove the tab and cap and turn counterclockwise. A quarter turn. Depress the finger trigger. Well, that's clockwise. That's not counterclockwise. There it goes. Well, do you have to stick something in there and I got it off. Okay. You know, this thing's smarter than I guess you gotta. Well, it's not worth fixing to use a paper gasket, because I can't figure out how to use this stuff. Because that's to cut it off. I don't know. Remove the tab and turn it counterclockwise, a quarter turn. Depress the finger trigger to dispense, applying a continuous speed. I believe that's what I'm doing. Isn't it? We're using a paper gasket. Oh, it's late in the day and I'm tired. Make sure you don't put that upside down, because your numbers, you won't be able to see your numbers. both fingers, make sure you don't get them stripped. Easy. I'm just running them down to this. I don't want to run it down hard. Give it a tighten, 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 suck it, and tighten. And then we'll go back. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what the torque spec is, but we'll just get them good and tight. And be careful, you can break these bolts off. All right, we'll get it outside and we'll hose this thing real good. Some degreaser. Let's put the sparky plug back in there. I don't know what that's for. Somebody made that and put that on there. I guess trying to protect it from that exhaust pipe. The Duke new. All right, let's clear the table. About to run out of battery juice in that camera. All right, we'll get this thing off the jack stands, let it sit overnight, and we'll hope that's got it. Okay. Well, let's do that. Boys and girls, that's the seat repair and the valve cover gasket on an 18 or 17.5 PowerBuilt Briggs and Stratton engine. Fixed his seat. It's an Ariens garden tractor. There's a model number out there, 96016002700. All right, boys and girls, thanks for watching another Tom Libby video. Messing around in the shop a little bit. It got so late by the time I got back to the shop. People calling, coming by. I had to pick up and deliver all this stuff this morning, and I just didn't have time to get really into nothing. Here it is, 4 o'clock, and that's all I've done all day. Still gotta do that. This thing, you'll probably remember I did a whole series on this. They called me back and said one of his belt come off the clutch. And I believe it's because of that broken bracket right there. I gotta weld all that back up. He just uses that thing to cut a big field. That's a Craftsman, but it's a snapper. It's a big old tractor right there, man. It's got the electric deck, raise and lower. I had to replace that motor in it and everything else. Back in February, yeah. Y'all be good, boys and girls. Take your vitamins, eat your vegetables. Holler if you need me. Say something nice to at least one person today. And by golly, we'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Love y'all.